What is psychic self? Psychic self-defense involves protecting oneself from unseen forces that can affect mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. It draws from ancient and modern practices to create a shield against negative influences. It protects the psyche and spirit from negative forces, both external and internal. Several years ago, I discovered the work of Paul Levy, who wrote a book called Dispelling Wetiko, and his latest book is called Undreaming Wetiko. Now, this blew my mind, this concept. What Wetiko was talking about is a mind parasite. Wetiko is a Native American term that describes an energetic vampiric parasite that attaches to the person's mind or energy field and implants negativity inside their psyche and gets them to think all sorts of negative thoughts, behave in irrational and self-destructive ways, and then feed off that energy and suck it off their energy field. Levy's original term for Wetiko was egophrenia. And what he meant by that was Wetiko is very much involved with the ego. It's all about service to self. It's always about me, 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 me. And it's always about, what I want, feeding my addictions, feeding my desires, my lusts. And the thing about it is it's very insidious. It's very difficult to spot at times. And it's at play everywhere in the world. It's narcissism, it's sociopathy, it's like psychopaths. That's when if you want to know what Wetiko is, it's the narcissistic, sociopathic, psychopathic type of personality. And as we well know, our world, our realm here today is run by those people. So you can see by this idea of Wetiko, it is everywhere and it's running the show in a lot of places. In religion, the heads of religious organizations, you can see often about power and suppression of true spiritual impulses, gathering congregations to worship them, pay them lots of money, again, to suck their energy, to take the loosh, to loosh them. Governments, we're lied to all the time. Where systems are put in place where we have to work hard all the time. We have to be running against the clock so that we don't have time for spiritual practices or getting out in nature or doing things that will enhance our well-being. Then we have the financial system, which is set up again to make us wage slaves so that our energy or loosh is harvested by the system. So all systems are driven by Wetiko, this egophrenic mind virus that is at play in our realm and our world. And Paul Levy's done a great piece of work in exposing it. It's not a new phenomenon. Jung called it the totalitarian mind virus. Others call it archons or, different names for it. But essentially, it's a parasitic energy that infects us and is at play very much in the world. The more you know yourself, and the more you know where your shadow aspects are, you know where your triggers are, you know where the gaps in your aura, you know where, because a lot of these forces that attack us, the parasites, the Wetiko, they come in through the back door. They come in through the opening in our auric field, and it's the place where we're traumatized. And in a sense, they have a very useful teaching function, because wherever you are finding yourself under attack by Wetiko or other forces, that's the place you need to work on. That's the area you need to focus on. That's where your shadow work needs to be done. So if you look at it as a teaching tool, as a teaching experience, it changes everything, because it's like we don't get freaked out by it. Oh my God, the darkness is coming after me. No, say no. I'm in the spiritual gym here. These are the extra weights I'm putting on the dumbbells. This is going to get me to a new place of spiritual awakening. I'm up for the work and I'm going to take it on. So let's take a look at the positive aspects, because it's important that we know how they come in to help us so that we can go halfway to meet them. Because the sense I get is the positive beings won't intervene with our free will or our sovereignty. We have to pray or invite them in or ask for help. It's like they're reaching down to try and help us, but we must reach up to meet them halfway. It's like that old saying, God helps those who help themselves. It's not about they're going to come in and help us out just for the sake of we need to do the work ourselves. So let's take another look or a closer look at that phenomenon. So, how true higher positive forces assist? By definition, a true higher density positive being is way more aware, conscious than you are, or I am. Understanding the law of free will, which negative entities love to manipulate. They don't respect your free will, but they can't go against your free will unless you give them permission, but they'll trick you into it if you're not careful. A true positive force, spirit guide, also knows you and your soul essence, purpose better than you do in your limited ego personality. So your higher self will often, help you by letting you fall into little traps so that you learn from them.